The content creators have complete meltdowns. Genesis Federation are confirmed mafia bosses, and stations are crumbling like sandcastles in high tide. All that and more. I am Podfather Kanos Kerensky, and this is the Kanos Kerensky Show. Look, Sovereign, I understand. You had your YouTube channel and your clickbait videos. You did a bunch of tutorial videos. You made headlines. You made it, kid. You didn't need someone like me. Then your content dried up. Now you come at me with your hysterics, but you don't do it with respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even call me Podfather. Instead, you come to here on my corporation's opening day, and you cry hypocrite, and you moan. What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? If you had come to me in friendship, then the scum who ruined your YouTube comment section would be suffering this very day.
How the fuck did Marlon Brando do that? My God, that's uncomfortable as shit. So, yeah, Genesis Federation was recently informed that we are actually mafia bosses and we take procurement of protection money. YouTuber Sovereign RPG commented on a video he made calling us hypocrites, that even when we are paid to help someone, if things do not go our way, we abandon those who are allegedly paying for our help. This is an asinine contention, but it gave me a good excuse to dress up like an idiot and do a horrible Marlon Brando impression. So let's go ahead and break down what he's talking about. The other day, the alliance known as AUF, the corporate or the group called VEV that we referenced in last week's video, that we had a good battle supporting their 50-man fleet against about 150 Elysium. Vev lost a station, so we'll just kind of cut to the chase there. They lost a station. It was coming out of the anchoring phase, and Genesis called a fleet op. It wasn't a full call to arms until right before. It was about 45 minutes before the timer, or before the op time rather, that we went ahead and made it a call to arms. So we had a low showing of only about 150 of us. Not the greatest showing, but there was an amazing battle that took place, and the battle was Genesis and Vev fighting for control of the grid, and quite a few parties showed up. Vev ultimately lost the station, but according to Sovereign RPG, Genesis just left the field and abandoned Vev, and apparently Vev had paid us protection money. Um, if they have, I would like to see who the check was cut to, because as the person who manages finances, I have not seen the protection money come in. So here I am, Mafia boss Kerensky, and I would like my money for whoever we're allegedly protecting. Now, what really happened is, well, it's been public knowledge, and it's also already on video. Genesis was on field, and both sides of the skirmish, or the war really, were having a lot of lag issues. Our senior FC, Ira Evansong, in fact, disconnected at the very beginning of the battle, and after many, many reconnects, he ended up losing his shiny guardianship to enemy fire. There are so many uh, persons tallied on that kill mail that if you open it in game, it will actually lock out your client for some amount of time. It will literally lag your client trying to process the amount of people recorded on the kill mail. So that should tell you how much was going on grid. Now, once the station anchored, it goes into a 15-minute repair phase. During the repair phase, the attackers have to out DPS. They have to damage cap it essentially, which is I believe 2,000 damage per second. Um, they have to damage cap it, and if they damage cap it, then they can take it down within the 15-minute repair time, which destroys the station instead of allowing it to repair and become fully online. The fully operational Death Star. Okay, So, once the station anchored, it disappeared from the overview. This has been reported multiple times. In fact, I spoke today to NetEase developer Melos in a private message, and the development team is currently looking into this because it is an issue. When the structure anchors, it should not disappear from the overview. When I say disappear, I mean you literally cannot see it anywhere in the system. It's just gone. The structure's there, but nobody can get to it unless you already have somebody on grid. Unfortunately, Genesis did not know this was happening, and they warped off grid to try to resync the fleet and warp back in because the battle was really heated. There was a lot of fighting going on, a lot of losses, kills for both sides. It was a great fight. The tactical decision was to pull back, regroup, and then forcefully come back on field and attempt to salvage it. Now, before I continue, I do want to say that the commanders on the field have stated publicly they're fairly confident Genesis would have lost this battle anyway, and Vev would have lost their station, because the enemy was doing a good job of DPSing the station, regardless of their losses. That said, the tactical decision was made, they pulled off field, and they tried to come back on. But it was too late. Since they had pulled off field, they did not have a way to get back on field. So even if they had somehow had a masterful tactician on the field ready to rout the enemy, they couldn't get back on field. So the enemy at the very end, which is the video clip they love to show, is that Genesis left the field. It's not what happened. Genesis was murdering lots of ships. And when I say lots of ships, I mean the battle cost more than 6 billion ISK total. The station was roughly 3 billion. Genesis's kill mails have amounted to more than 3 billion ISK destroyed. And as the individual doing the SRP, I can tell you that between that battle and another fight we took within that same 24 hours, the SRP cost is still below 600 million ISK. We did a lot of damage. But according to the enemy, we just showed up and just ran off field because they like to snip at the end of a video. But everybody there, they know what happened, okay? Now, again, we're pretty confident they were going to take down the station. So good job to Elysium and friends. They did an excellent battle there. They really stuck it out. They forced themselves on field. Good fight to the enemy. It was a blast for the Genesis pilots. Vev, even though they lost a station, had fun in the battle. That's what the game is about. Either way. Now, we are going to show you some kill mails, but I do want to kind of talk about the fact that a station is very expensive, very squishy. It can be killed pretty easily, and by the relative ease that it can be killed, I mean that Sovereign's group of stealth bombers were able to sit on the other side of the field and shoot the station, while the rest of the enemy fleet fought the Genesis and Vev fleet. It's so easy to DPS down these stations. You only need like 20 or 30 ships maximum, and everybody else can be totally ignoring the station and fighting. It's pretty rough to be a Capsuleer outpost in New Eden right now, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. You might be wondering, though, how Vev or any alliance can build a station, and how would Genesis Federation build a structure if they wanted to? Well, it requires ISK and minerals, but how do you get minerals, you might ask? Well, mining, of course, and if you're a miner or builder, we have a program for you here at the Genesis Federation or buyback program. Let's take a look.
For 60 AU off the Warp Gate path, there's a Kerensky that works more with ore than weaponry. His name is Simple Kerensky, but he's no dummy. He realized long ago the greatest thing he would ever create was his venture. We captured that moment. We run it on a loop through Simple Kerensky's mind, and the chemical it makes his brain secrete we use in our Simple Kerensky mind control chips to keep people mining ore. Come home to the flavor of your own completion. Come home to Simple Kerensky and the Genesis or Buyback program.
All right, so as always, I owe you some kill mails. We're doing something a little different today, and I'm actually going to stream you our Discord here. There were so many kills, and if you think that I'm exaggerating the damage done, go ahead and just line by line, everything I'm about to scroll through, and tally it up for yourself. Go ahead, tally it up for yourself if you think that we're full of shit when we say it's over 3 billion ISK destroyed here. Normally, as you know, if you've watched the show, I take a few highlighted ones and throw them up and say, hey, look at these cool, juicy kills. But I just want you to understand the scope of this battle and how many ships died on the enemy side, desperately shielding the fleet of stealth bombers that were killing the station. Op success to the enemy, but let's look at the cost here. Here we go. So 17 mil there, 53 there. There's 4. That's obviously nothing. 46. That's the cheapest ship in existence ever. Let's see. 17 there, 20 there, 25. You get the point, right? So here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got. There's a 38. Yep. And there we go. There's can use. Now, I'll pause on the can use for a second. Obviously, some of these can be insured, some of these can be bought back. Got it. That's with everything. Some of our losses can be insured too. Again, our Alliance SRP program throws a lot of cash out and replaces ships. Got it. The point is total value because we don't have an e-kill board. Oh, I take that back. The Imperator is officially the cheapest kill on here. Keep going down. There's 20. There's 30. More 20. Oh man, look at that. There's one of the stealth bombers. Wow, that hurts. All right, here we go. Oh, there's another stealth bomber. Ouch. Ouch. Good lord. Some Navy issue. Oh, there's a pod. I don't know why the pod kill mail's on there. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, more can use. I love seeing dead can use. Oh, look at that. 324. Oh, man. Look at those dead space reps on him. Dead space, remote armor repairs. That's interesting for a ship that doesn't get bonuses to them. Interesting. Weird tactic, but okay. 37 there. Oh, there's some cheap ships. Man, and the list just keeps going, right? We're going to bear with me. We're going all the way because people want to call me a liar. They want to call Genesis, full of shit for claiming how much was killed on field. But here it is, folks. You can do the math yourself. Keep going. Oh, yep, there we go. Nemesis. And oh man, yeah, mom asking people to post their kill mails. There's a 190. Look at that. Look at all these dead ships. So here we go. Tallied up to this point was 2.69. 170 there. Somebody doesn't know how to take screenshots. 19. This is a beautiful collage that we can't really see right here, but it is what it is. There's a 190 fitting. So all total, it was roughly around 3 billion ISK, which is quite a bit. And again, some of it was insurable. No big deal. I get it. We're not going to pretend that that's not a thing. So it was not all ISK lost. Point being is there was a lot of stuff that died, and Genesis did not appear on field and then leave, as some of the social media videos and comments like to make. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your proof that they did not show up and leave. They murdered a lot of things. They face fucked a lot of things before eventually leaving to regroup and then being unable to get back on field due to a known bug. Again, NetEase Melos is looking into right now. Okay, so this was not the first station kill. We are going to talk about the very first station kill that I'm aware of was actually a improperly anchored station. It was not prepared and it died similar to this one did, but without any resistance. It was just kind of murked. We are going to talk about a station kill by Dead. Now, many of you who have been watching the stream or familiar with Genesis's history are aware that Dead is an enemy of ours, but enemy or not, we are going to showcase something that they did, which is fairly impressive. In what Dead is calling the Outer Ring Rumble, the battle of 5 Whiskey Alpha Echo TAC Mike, that's 5WAE TAC M in Fountain, in Outer Ring near Fountain. Dead, our mortal enemies, have a video up on YouTube, which you can look at should you choose. We reached out to them for comment, and we got both sides of the battle and their take on it. So from Dead's perspective, they're saying that they found this outpost owned by Slay Corporation, and they engaged in a campaign against it for content. This is, to our knowledge, the first fully deployed outpost to be killed. Now, somebody could fact check me and send me a link, and I'm happy to report on it. But what does it mean, the first fully fully deployed. It means it made it through the anchoring process, the repair process in 15 minutes, and was fully operational. This means that Dead had to come back 3 different times. They had to take the shield down, wait 24 hours, take the armor down, wait 24 hours, and then, depending on what the structure timer was, come back and do the final battle. To summarize it quickly, Dead and the allies they have at Terran Federation showed up to the battle in force to find the owning alliance and corporations, according to them, fairly disorganized and not putting up too much of a fight. Instead, the good fights came in the form of some third party from Chinese and Russian corporations and alliances that showed up, uh, mostly because the battle was broadcast on Reddit. So lots of people on Reddit decided this was a good place to come third party. Now, speaking to a source inside Slay, who will remain anonymous because they were not officially able to give their account, and I was not able to get in touch with the CEO. Their take was that they were actually organized and they did do a lot of damage. They shared some kill mails. They got some good kills on Dead and the randoms, but they also admitted they were quickly overwhelmed by the multiple fleets attacking the station. So essentially, imagine that there's the station, right? And they're there at the station trying to defend it, but then they're getting swarmed by all sides. So they can't actually fight one direction, one front. There's just too many parties involved. And they admitted they didn't have enough people for the battle to begin with. They put out a lot of ships. They had a lot of pre-planned ships. Put them out there. They died. They said good fight. According to them, they did enjoy the battle despite the loss. But ultimately, the end of the battle was Dead versus a bunch of the third-party individuals. Was really what the battle broke down to. Either way, congratulations to Dead and all parties involved for what looked like some pretty good fight. Uh, Here's their video here. I'll just play just a little bit of it for you. Let's see. Can't play sound because they've got some music and I don't want to get a copyright strike. But so you can see there's 66 in local here before the battle really kicks off. So not a whole lot going on. But then when we really get into it, look at that, 357 in local. The Terran fleet arrives here. Uh, I do have to laugh that they have the location blurred out at the bottom for part of the stream, but it's completely up in the top left corner of the stream. That's actually worse than my blurring, so get good. All right, here we go. That is a lot of ships on grid. Check that out, guys. Look at that. That's beautiful. All right, let's skip ahead in the battle a little bit. Let's see what we find. Yep, there. So it looks like Dead's fleet actually gets hit pretty hard here. You can see that their numbers are really low there, and the neutrals on grid are just they're everywhere, right? This is just lots of people on grid. The Dead fleet is pretty small, so you can clearly see that this is a lot of third-party battle. There's just multiple forces fighting each other. I would wager a bet that if this was Dead versus everybody there, they would have just gotten wiped, right? Like that's not the neutrals you see on grid are not at all like a single unified force, and you can actually see a lot of it in the crossfire too. You can see on the left-hand side they seem pretty unified against them, but then in some of the other bits of the video, you can just see kind of blasting all over. So like on station right now, you can see there's just shooting going on all over. That's not all the same team on the station. You can just see the effects, right? Probably most of it's the same, but you can see that there's just people warping in. You can see above the station, there's lots of deaths happening because there's some other group warping in on top of the station. So I mean, a lot of chaos going on, and ultimately they do take down the station here. So again, congratulations to them. Definitely a well fought victory there for Dead, regardless of who showed up. So good stuff there. Okay, so we are not going to do an Everything is Stupid this week. And instead, we're going to take a few minutes to discuss the continued flame war, in which I'm going to give what I refer to as the last word, so far as my take on it goes. But first, if you get into a fleet fight and you get derped off the field, you may be wondering what happens to your ship. Well, insurance might fail you, but the Genesis Federation ship replacement program will not. Let's take a look.
There's a Kerensky that held a fleet hostage after murdering his scouts and several fleet members. The fleet was made of noobs, flavored with stupidity and lemmings. He made us all take a look at our fleet composition, and in the bargain, he got a taste of real freedom. No more fleet ops. We captured that taste, and we keep giving it to him so he can give it right back to you in every single Kerensky Fleet Ops mind control chip selects. Come home to the unique flavor of shattering the bonds of teaming up with noobs. Come home to Genesis Fleet Ops.
Okay, so we spoke about the ridiculous accusation that Genesis takes protection money and that we showed up to defend Bev because we were bribed or some such. But that video was far more malicious than it was just saying something dumb and completely false like that. Uh, in our last show, we talked about how our enemies failed to attack us and their coalition showed up to our door and straight up left without even trying to attack. Um, well, Sovereign RPG and his alliance were part of that, which is fine. We pointed out on the stream, not even in a mocking way, that he showed up and left without attempting to fight. I can only assume he took this to heart that we were trashing him, and he has since gone on a tirade of 3 or maybe 4 videos at this point dedicated to trashing Genesis. So far, his videos have included censored out comments from anonymous persons who signed their comments as GenFed players. He claims in his video this is representation of day-to-day players in Genesis. To paraphrase, he says something to the effect of, "This must be what goes on consistently," or some such. He then goes on to say that we are hypocrites. He cites a post I made on our Discord in which I clearly stated what was considered unacceptable activity, and he tries to spin it, saying we are hypocrites. So let me quickly give you the post. I will read it since I posted it. Okay, this was an at everyone ping titled Acceptable Behavior Reminder. This is to remind you that we do not tolerate racist, homophobic, or xenophobic comments and behavior. This also extends to any smearing, slander, or trash talk that is aimed at marring an individual. Now, what do I mean by marring? I mean some kind of comment or something you're saying or doing that is reasonably expected to just try to harm that person's mental health, okay? Here I put some examples. Examples include, but are not limited to, kill yourself, or hope someone kills you, or any form of wishing real life harm or death. I then go on to say, last night, this morning, an individual was found making xenophobic comments in local. He was promptly hunted down and destroyed and removed from the alliance. Okay, so quick note on that. We had just done a fleet against TSA Alliance, who is a Chinese alliance. We had a good fight with them. And right as we were about to dock up, a GenFed pilot in the local chat came out and said something to the effect of, I hope you washed your hands before coming here. I don't want to get Kung Flu. Which is clearly a jab at their Chinese origin, insinuating that Chinese people are here to give us all disease and kill us, which is totally unacceptable. So my response was very simple. Find him. I took my ship to the belt where he happened to be ratting because he's a fucking muppet, and during a battle in the system with 120 players fighting it out, he's sitting there in a mining ship because he's an idiot, and then decides to make racist comments. Well, we blew him up and kicked him out of the alliance. He has since went on to spam me with messages, slandering me in game, and again, I don't care because he's an idiot. He got caught and he got killed because that's what we do. Um, this was before I was made aware of Sovereign's video, so put that into context, as necessary. Now, I then go on to say in my post, there is now a video from a dumpster fire of a YouTube channel claiming Genesis pilots are making toxic comments on his channel. I understand his videos are absolute garbage, but under no circumstances will we permit the behavior described above. At this time, there is zero evidence any of the comments are from GenFed members. If we find such evidence, you will be removed. For now, I assume that, once again, enemies are coordinating on social media to pretend they are us, since these comments are being signed pilot from GenFed, and I'm assuming nobody here is that moronic. Clean fights, keep shooting them down, keep your honor and dignity. Now, what has been latched onto is the idea that I have gone out of my way and they're pretending that calling his channel trash is a personal attack and super toxic. Okay, let me be clear. His channel's trash, and that's my opinion, and I'm damn well entitled to it, okay? There are people subscribed to my channel that hate my channel. They jump on when I'm streaming just to trash talk me. And that's fine. What I don't do is I don't go make YouTube videos about, oh no, look, someone made a horrible video about me. Please help. Right? Okay, here's the deal. If I had a problem with somebody and I wanted them disciplined, quote unquote, I would just contact the leader of their group and be like, hey, this douchebag is doing this behavior that's not okay, right? Now, again, it's my opinion that his channel's bad, and I've thought his videos were trash before I ever interacted with the guy and before he was hostile to us in game. And as an example, he did a video about issues NetEase cannot ignore, which I mocked as a clickbait video given its headline, and I also said the content was dumb, right? The content I thought was dumb because he rambles on about problems with the game but gives no critical thought on it, no solution suggestions. He just says, these are bad things. NetEase can't ignore. It's like a 5-minute video of him just listing off a grocery list of stuff he hates, right? So, whatever. In any case, uh, he then goes on in the video and he says, he uses two screenshots from Mamasaurus Rex. And the first one is just ludicrous. She says to Sav in game and to his group, quote, did you bring us more tasty battle cruisers to kill? End quote. This was his example of toxicity. Give me a break. Like, seriously? Our standard is not to dox, harass, or tell people to kill themselves. And then you equate that to making comments about killing ships in a video game? Like, no, just get out. Get out. Okay? The next screenshot he uses is one in which Rex uses expletives. She says fucking in the context of, quote, you guys are fucking awesome, end quote, as she's telling the Alliance how good they did in battle. Oh my god, she's literally Hitler and it's super toxic because she said the F word. Like, come on. Seriously? That's your example of hypocrisy? Of hypocrisy? Like, can you see the blatant dishonesty? The deliberate misrepresentation? Okay? Like, I don't care, right? Like, it's dumb. Today, Mama Rex, and I suggest you go watch this, Rev Deuce hosted Rex on her show, and they discussed this. And super kudos to Rex for being a completely neutral party here because he is friends with Sav. He made some disagreements with Sav, and he made some agreements with him. Um, she actually agreed with my assessment of Sav's channel being trash. And again, we're all entitled to opinions. He can call my channel trash. I don't care. That's fine. Lots of people trash my stream as being cringe and horrible, and lots of other people watch it. Other people DM me saying how they look forward to it because they just like someone who's going to pop off and just give, unfiltered opinions of things. That's great. Watch the show, don't watch the show. I'm not going to make a video about how you're mean and then censor stuff out and try to be like, oh, look what someone said, but I won't tell you who did it. They're bad. Just believe me, right? Now, one thing Rev brought up, and I was not going to talk about on the show today until he mentioned the name, is how certain people are outraged, such as Who is a Fish? Now, Who's a Fish is very upset about a comment I made on Sal's video. The comment was that nobody with a, quote, functional prefrontal cortex, end quote, would believe what he was saying. Now, what is being said is that I'm mocking disabled people. First, let me say that if there's anybody out there who takes my comment as me mocking disabled people, I genuinely do apologize. Okay, I know there's infinite amount of people out there. There's all kinds of ways to interpret a comment. If you actually think that I was insulting someone with a mental disability, I am sorry. Okay, I do have people in my family who have disabilities. That's not a laughing matter. What I am literally saying is I'm giving a binary choice. I'm saying that in order to believe him, you have to not think properly. Now, this could be for any number of reasons. Okay, you could be confused. Maybe you're super tired. You're drunk. Whatever the case is, you're not thinking properly if you actually believe saying tasty battleship kills are the same as go kill yourself. They're just not. Nobody being honest thinks that way. So you're either not thinking correctly, or the alternative is you're deliberately dishonest. I'll let you decide which category you fall into, if you believe that. Now, regardless, Rex has publicly disagreed with the phrasing I use. So, as I said, if someone's actually offended, not intentional. So I apologize if someone was actually offended by that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to mock people in the future, um, because it's the internet. Okay, I call people muppet. I say idiot. I say stupid. One word that I have worked very hard to not use is retard because there is a very negative connotation behind that. I understand that and I try to respect that. So even I try to filter myself a little bit, right? Either way, I think it's ludicrous that a video was made trying to compare actual toxic bad behavior to calling someone stupid. If I call you stupid or you call me stupid, who cares? If you do something dumb, you should be called dumb. Get over it, okay? Or block me, don't watch the content, who cares, okay? Quit trying to be so dishonest to convince people, right? My favorite part of this is that after Saab's video came out, suddenly there were lots of comments all over the place that were basically parroting the same thing. Like, so none of these people had thought this way until he presented the video, which cracks me up because if you ever follow politics, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, if you pay attention, all it takes is your favorite political figure, left, right, wherever you're at, someone says something, right? And they make a catchphrase, and then all of a sudden, all the little followers just start parroting the same thing. So all this time that I have made, I've actually used the prefrontal cortex comment more than once. In all these different times, nobody has ever said anything. And some people laugh to it, some people tell me to go F myself, whatever, right? Saab says something on his YouTube, and suddenly there's an army of followers repeating this. Interesting. Either way, I'll close this out and finish this on one other note because RevDuce brought up Who's a Fish, and she I wasn't going to bring her up, but she did DM me, and she was coming at me hard defending Saab. What she told me was Saab is going through some personal stuff, so I should not make rude or offensive comments to him. It's harmful, is what she was trying to say. First off, I am aware of his personal problems, at least some of them. He communicated them to me in a private chat with myself and Mamasaurus, and I had gone through a similar situation as he is. And in private, I wished him well, and I still wish him well. I don't wish harm on anybody, having gone through it, right? But I do have to say his personal problems are not an excuse or a free pass to smear our alliance. Claim that all of our players are these closeted internet scum who are hateful and make threats and slander all day. It's not an excuse, and I will respond with mockery and telling people they're idiots when they do things like that. Period. I'm not apologetic about it. She also told me she will fiercely defend her gaming community. She insinuated that her and her community have been here far longer than I have, which is weird since I've played Eve since 2005. I was in Nova Empire with her, I was in Second Galaxy, and I've been here since the beta. So I don't know where her community came from that it's been here longer because we started the game at the same time. What's interesting about her fierce defense comment is she specifically named Doomsy and Saab as people she would defend. And therefore, I'm the toxic person that I claim to not approve of. My question to her, she's free to come on the show or host me, which she refused to answer, is where the hell was she when her precious friends at OP4S were caught on chat, and we showed it multiple times on this show, making horrendous comments, scheming to cause defamation of us? They were doing a disinformation campaign, and the constant comments still continuing to this day. When I say to this day, I mean this week. As in, I took a fleet to OP4S's home system, and they were making sexually explicit comments in the local chat. So where's she on that? Where's Saab on that? Where are all these content creators when their allies, their community, are doing the same behavior that they claim to stand against? It's all been crickets. She subscribes to this channel. She doesn't watch the videos. She has no idea. In another conversation I had with her, I brought up some of the stuff that went on inside OP4S. And she goes, I didn't know about that. I'll have to investigate that. And I gave her all the links. She didn't investigate. She doesn't care, right? These people don't care. They want clicks. They want to stir drama. They want to insinuate that me saying idiot is the same as, telling people to commit suicide, which is just insane contention, okay? To wrap this up, I've made the standard very clear. I'm not going to be intellectually dishonest and pretend that calling someone an idiot or a curse word is the same as threats, harassing, doxing, whatever. It's not the same. The irony is that During Talking in Stations episode, she used the example of I'm going to blow your ships up and kill you guys in game as an example of appropriate banter. Here she is defending Saab's smear video in which he uses that language as an example of us being toxic. It's not toxic. You know it. She knows it. Saab knows it. Okay? They don't care about the standard. They don't care about the context. They care about the narrative. All right. That is my last word on that. I'm happy to have Saab or Fish on the stream. Happy to go on their stream. We can talk about it more in another venue if they want. But as far as this show is concerned, that's it. Okay, we're done talking about this bullshit because frankly, it's a headache for me, and I'm pretty sure there's nobody out there who actually believes this. You're only believing it if it suits your narrative, in which case I don't care. Okay, we are happy to handle any factually based accusations of misconduct by GenFed, which I will point out, if you watch Revdeuce's stream, he correctly points out when Rex brings it up that Sav in his video deliberately goes out of his way to state that he is not going to provide the evidence. He's just going to put it on the stream, censor it out, and claim it's a GenFed pilot. He will not provide evidence so that we can deal with it. Instead, he's just going to say that that's how GenFed acts. Well, frankly, I don't believe it's a GenFed member because we don't tolerate that. And if the best example of bad things we do you can find is me calling your stream trash, cool. I'm fine with that. I can sleep good at night. Okay. That's good. All right. Enough of the bullshit. Let's look at some in game events. So we talked about Chipper, who was who we killed during the TSA battle when he was making the kung flu jokes and harassing the Chinese with racist remarks. Let's also talk about Church Burner, and this is a good example of how our alliance handles actual problems when we see a real problem. So in the dead of night, when I was offline and Rex was offline, Elandria, our other executor, got some screenshots from an anonymous person who will not be named. They requested not to be named. Church Burner, which is you can see where this is going just by the name. Um, Church Burner made some pretty horrific comments. He was harassing someone repeatedly. And as soon as it went public, well, not really public, as soon as it was DM'd to an executor, it was DM'd to Alondra. It was like, hey, check out these comments. And this person has been harassing me. I have attempted not to respond, but they won't quit. Can you please do something with this? And Alondra was taken aback, as we were all. But the best part about this is, before Rex logged in and before I had even read any of it, this person was already sorted, kicked out of Alliance, because that is what Genesis Federation CEOs do if they are ever given an example of inappropriate behavior. Um, I believe the comment was hoping somebody dies of COVID, which is just, again, it's a gross comment, right? If you can't tell the difference between, hey, you're an idiot, um, and wishing death, it's a bad day for you, right? You should probably lay off the internet. Either way, Church Burner was removed just as we've removed anybody else we found, and we're transparent about it. Like, I like to put it on the show. It's a good piece for the everything is stupid when you can point out that some racist idiot or some xenophobic piece of shit was shot down and killed. And if I didn't mention it, when we killed Chipper, he was only in a Venture mining, Venture 3, but he had some named guns on there, so it was a 100 mil loss, which made us chuckle as we kicked him out of the alliance. So that was good, right? Um, Everybody knows that if they bring us actual problems and show us somebody did something wrong, we definitely remove them because that's just how we operate, right? Okay, so with those examples out of the way, let's get to some political drama not involving Genesis Federation. Y'all remember the coalition that came against us. OP4S and Trimark and Elysium and Sovereign's guys showed up and left. Well, Trimark was in a non-aggression pact against us, and then they showed up to shoot at us anyway, and their excuse was, oh, we didn't know. They didn't tell us where we were going. We thought we were going to Delve to shoot at goons. So Trimark got on our shit list, and they were part of this coalition against us. Well, turns out that the coalition ain't so strong because Trimark reinforced OP4S's structure the other day. They were attacking Red. We've talked about Red a lot on the show. The Russian contingent that gives us some really great fights. But Trimark has betrayed the coalition and attacked OP4S. Interestingly enough, Elysium, another member of the coalition, has been pretty unresponsive about this. It seems like the coalition may have some issues right now. I will say OP4S successfully defended their station. If I have the numbers right, Trimark showed up with 120-ish persons, and OP4S had over 200. So OP4S held the field, defended the station. It's good. Trimark, best of luck in your next attack. I'm loving to see it. Maybe we'll come third party. Who are we going to shoot at? I don't know. I'll flip a coin. All right. So in other news, it's been confirmed to me that Ragnar, the war chief in OP4S, has quit and gone to EVE Online. Again, I guess it took one loss in which he decided to quit. So OP4S leadership, rest in peace. Don't know what's going to go on over there. Good luck to you guys. On that same note, we've had multiple corporations approach us. Pardon me. Multiple corporations approach us that they said that they had spoke to OP4S about joining, and they decided they wanted to join Genesis instead. Why would they join Genesis instead, you might ask? Because after all, we are evil and terrible. Well, it turns out that Red specifically was trying to tell some of the Russian entities joining them that they had to pay a 1 billion ISK entry fee, and that some of the taxes were like 50% of PI and like some other outrageous numbers to join OP4S. You had to agree to these outrageous taxes, which is hilarious because if you remember a few episodes back, we were royally mocked on Reddit by a disinformation post claiming to be a Genesis pilot that we charged 25 mil to be in the alliance. 5 mil billion ISK. I don't know. I'm going to need an accountant to tell me which one is more, frankly. But one, they were wrong about the 25 mil enrollment fee or whatever it was, right? We have a tax system for our corporations to fund stuff. Apparently, OP4S figured out a month and a half into the game that they actually needed ISK to pay for things as at the alliance level. So now they're trying to charge a billion ISK. I would love OP4S to correct the record on that. Let me know if that's actually true in the comments or on the stream. You know, curious, but multiple corporations have shifted from going to you for recruitment to us. So I can only go off of what they were told in their recruitment application. In other news, Murder Ball occurred. I know, what a name, Murder Ball, okay? So, Murder Ball was a small Alliance level tournament. It harkens to the days of the EVE Alliance tournament. We did the first one in Genesis this past weekend, in which small teams squared off against each other. Everybody hedged some bets. I don't remember what the entry fee is, it was something low. Pot of money, winner team takes all. So, there was a lot of fun in that. The upcoming one, which I'm going to try to stream if I'm available for, or we'll find another streamer for, is going to be a free for all. So we'll see how many pilots get on field, and the last pilot left alive wins. I think cloaking devices should not be allowed because that's how I would win. But nonetheless, Murder Ball, with its glorious name that says everything you need to know about it, is occurring in GenFed. So stop on by, check it out. We end the show with some really sad news, and I wish that I had thought to have some kind of memorial music, maybe the Scottish bagpipes going. Um, my Dramiel has finally died. A moment of silence. The Dramiel's dead. Hashtag already replaced. Don't really care. So the other day I was doing some Alliance tax work, like the nerd that I am, because this is spreadsheets online, and I was in chat and some dudes were like, "Hey, we're shooting things," and I was like, "Ah, yeah, maybe later. I got stuff to." They're like, "No, look at all these things that we're shooting." I was like, "Ah, fuck, all right, cool." So I got in the Dramiel, fly off. I'm almost to the target system, and they're like, "Oh shit, they're undocking a bunch of stuff. We've only got like 10 guys in assorted ships." So we left and we went to a different system. Went in the system, start hazing stuff, jump into belts, just murdering miners everywhere. Retrievers dying, Vengers dying, whatever the case. Scout on station. Scout's like, "A bunch of stuff is undocking, you guys." I'm like, whatever. A couple frigs warp into the belt, murder the frigs really quick because frigate versus, or Tech 4 frigate versus Dramiel is no contest. And they're like, "Dudes, there's like 20 people that just undocked. They've got battle cruisers, a bunch of destroyers and frigates. They're probably coming for the Dramiel." And I was like, eh. fuck it, stayed on field because whatever. It wasn't even like dead space fit because it was scrubbed cheap Dremio. So I stayed on field. It was actually a really fun death. Props to OP4S for catching it. Not that again I didn't leave, but I stayed on field and I was trying to get the best maneuvers I could in, so I avoided some of the ships that were coming in. And actually managed to drag a few ships with me. And in the drag, as they chased me, I was able to kill 2 more frigates that were trying to tackle me. In all, it was 12 ships that ended up taking it down. I mean, whatever, it's already replaced, but that was a lot of fun. I highly recommend people go grab a Dremio. They're a lot of fun. You can fit them up to do quite a bit of damage. They are spectacular at killing other frigates, and they're also really good at shooting anything with turrets that is cruiser size and above. Don't recommend destroyers as the target all the time, um, but definitely find some battle cruisers. In fact, the best kill I had in it before it died was one of the Can-U battle cruisers because those things are hilariously slow and their weapons can't track for shit. They're garbage. I had one triple web me. Like literally 3 stasis webifiers and nothing, not a single hit on me, and I just hazed the thing. So go get yourself a Dremio. They are down on the market price a little bit, or if your alliance has any kind of good industry program, maybe you can find a person to fit it out, or sorry, to build it. You don't have to fit it out with bling stuff. It doesn't need to cost over $1 billion. I mean, you can just do some basic name modules, and it's going to be good. You're going to have a lot of fun. Um, if you don't know how to pilot frigates, maybe try a Condor first. But again, highly recommend it. I've got another one. I can't wait to go fight with it until it dies. Uh, that's all I got for you today, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, if you like the show, subscribe. We will be back next week with actual spotlights, with interviews picking up again. Hopefully, we're going to get our Korean corporation on here. Vev is talking about doing an interview with us, our Ukrainian friends, and so much more. So I do appreciate you guys. Again, thank you for watching. I'm Canis Kerensky, and this has been the Canis Kerensky Show. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe too. Be sure to check out the rest of the Genesis Wire content at www.genesistaccfed.com/GenesisTackWire. Thanks for listening. The Canis Kerensky Show is produced by Canis Kerensky, Executive Producer Tim the Lemur, Supervising Producer Moses the Lemur, Assistant Director Pavel the Lemur, Technical Producer Jolly the Lemur. Playback and media operated by a neckbeard. Edited by nobody. Costume by a secondhand store. Hair and makeup by a lemur with glaucoma. All EVE Online source materials are copyright CCP 2020. All EVE Echoes source materials are copyright CCP and NetEase 2020. The Canis Kerensky Show is a Genesis Wire production. Copyright Genesis Wire 2020.